Hello, friends and family from around the world. This is Mike with Daily Events Worldwide, and we are on August 14th, 2024. Welcome to another surviving day on the planet, and welcome to the Daily Do, giving you your amazing space weather update, as well earthquakes, volcanoes, and world weather. Always starting out here looking at the last 48 hours of imagery, looking at our sun, as we've seen 3 M-class solar flares and a very minor X-class solar flare, in which came from the sunspot region that I had warned. Earth facing right dead center, our disk right now. Looking at the last 48 hours incoming, we did have an event cresting in the 3rd M class, and as well we've got plasma filaments swirling around. Lots of activity in the northern hemisphere around the pole, and as well outgoing sunspot region here. Looking at multi-spectrum, we still got a very large coronal hole, northern hemisphere of our sun, and multiple plasma filaments. Definitely going to be a concern over this next little bit, hoping they do not flip out. Instead, maybe destabilize and fall back in. But keeping an eye on these, as well as the 9 sunspot regions that are Earth-facing right now. And that big sunspot region that I've been posting the last few days is the culprit of the most recent X-class solar flare. M first, another one M there, and then an X. And then recently cresting around with another M flare. Those are the big sunspot regions to watch right now, and as well a growing sunspot region, equatorial region. Left-hand side bottom, keeping an eye on that. Current space weather conditions, we are under R3, strong radio blackout impacts expected, wide area blackout of high frequency radio. Solar winds are coming in at 401 kilometers per second right now, slightly up a little bit, most likely due to the coronal hole wind stream that was Earth facing. Solar X-ray flux, as you can see here, 3 strong M-class solar flares, and as well a very minor X-class solar flare. Solar proton flux remains low. Geomagnetic activity hopped up to a KP4 today, most likely from the coronal hole wind stream. Looking here at the Space Weather Prediction Center from NOAA, most recent CME, I'm pretty sure this is from the X-class solar flare. A little green circle on the right-hand side is Earth. And here is another look, ISWA Space Prediction Spiral, showing that same kind of a CME impacting us 17th into the 18th, late 17th, and as well notable Mercury retrograde starting on the 18th. So uptick in seismicity and as well solar storms is something to be aware of. Having a look at LASCO 3 here, broad spectrum, wide view of our sun the last 2 days of events, and notable in the last few images here on the 14th, large halo CME, which is a coronal mass ejection, is headed our way. Stay tuned for full details as this is still developing. Early stages there of the CME models as well. Now let's get to earthquakes the last 24 hours. Deep earthquake here, the deepest past 24 hours, 511 kilometer depth, Fiji region, 4.8 as well. Kermadec Islands, northern New Zealand. Quiet across Papua New Guinea and eastern Indonesia up into the Philippines. Activity building here, western Indonesia towards Krakatoa. 4.8 there. Marianas Trench, quiet up into Japan, but there's been an earthquake warning for the past few days issued by Japan themselves. Notable earthquakes there, Tibetan Plateau, quiet across the African plate. Largest magnitude earthquake the last 24 hours, San Juan, Peru, 5.3 magnitude. Very quiet Puerto Rico after just being bombarded by Ernesto. And then looking across U.S. soil, largest being the 4.4 Indian Springs, Nevada, and a minor swarm occurring there. Also notable here, 3.3 Grapevine, California. This is where we're seeing a most recent swarm. Pistol River, Oregon, 3.0 and a 2.5. And as well, 3.5 here, Hermley, Texas. As we've seen lots of seismicity across Texas and into Mexico. Hawaii and Alaska have been pretty quiet as of late. Is it the calm before the storm or the quiet before the boom? We'll see. USGS is reporting 320 earthquakes in the past 24 hours. 44 all across the Hawaiian island. Recent activity from the Southeast Rift moving up into the Kilauea Summit caldera. And then looking across the United States, look at all this most recent activity across California and into the Gulf of California. Salton Sea, notable earthquakes there, but look at all these earthquakes that are following the fault lines. And then most recent swarm here, small, Grapevine, California, Lamont. This is where we saw about 600 earthquakes last week. Speaking which, let's have a look at how many have shook the area here in the last 7 days. 295 they're reporting here. Yeah, let's go back 30 days so that we can get that most recent swarm in as well. So yeah, overall 630 earthquakes at that Lamont, Grapevine, California. Look at the United States. All around California. All around Nevada and Idaho. Pacific Northwest. This is showing the last 30 days for earthquakes. Heads up, my friends and family. Now let's have a quick look here at the globe. Showing the last 7 days for earthquakes. This is where we have an earthquake warning issued by Japan. Largest this week, 7.1 earthquake. We also saw the 6.5, Eastern Russia. Notable activity, the Kermadec Trench. African Plate, Indian Plate, pretty quiet. We haven't seen a very large earthquake in since the 7.1, but I'm expecting something bigger, around the 8 range. So be ready, my friends and family, especially across the West Coast. Now let's have a look at our SO2 forecast brought to you by windy.com, showing the wildfires that are burning across Saskatchewan and Northwest Territories, and as well volcanoes that are erupting across eastern Russia through Kamchatka. Most of this SO2 is brought to you by the 46 active and or erupting volcanoes around the world. Overlooking Southeast Asia, Australia, and Africa. Notable SO2 contents all across New Zealand, from the mighty Aoba, New Caledonia volcano, and no new eruptions at Etna, but she's still puffing away. Now let's have a look at our weather forecast brought to you by windy.com. Big low pressure system over New Zealand, bringing in waves of moisture towards the United Kingdom and Finland. Extreme weather breaking out across Central and Western Africa. Big low there. That could be a doozy of a storm in the long range as it forms through the Central Atlantic. Speaking of storms, we do have Tropical Storm Ernesto, who is now a hurricane, just washed out Puerto Rico. We've got extreme weather building across central United States. And then watch Ernesto's path as it beelines for Bermuda as a possible Category 3 hurricane. Big low pressure system over Ontario by Sunday into Monday. And they could join forces here in the long range, heading towards the Atlantic provinces. We've got Nova Scotia in the mix here. Rain bands expected Sunday to Monday, and these forecast models are showing eye of the storm hitting eastern Newfoundland. So heads up, my Atlantic Canadian friends, and please share this video with your friends and family. Having a look here over the Pacific. Typhoon forecast here for Japan. Friday into Saturday, just scathing the coastline. High pressure ridge in front of it, sucking it northeastwards. But watch for some strong systems heading to Alaska from there. Other than that, no major cyclones or typhoons forecast here through the Indian Ocean or affecting Australia. Lots of moisture coming in from the south through parts of Australia, especially western and as well Tasmania. Lots of moisture heading your way. So stay aware and prepared, my friends. Stay young and have fun and get your daily due. We'll see you next video. Bye-bye now.
If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends and family from across the world.